Yes, Mayor Mark Sukup.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Rick Collins.
Here.
Councilmember Aaron Pearson.
Here.
Councilmember Lisa Lake.
Here.
Councilmember Brett Hansen.
Here.
Other than the amended agenda that we have in front of us, is there any other amendments? Okay. Do we have any public comment, Melissa? Okay. Does anybody have any questions on the consent agenda? Would somebody like to make a motion to approve?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, mayor and council reports. Brett.
Yeah, I wanted to give a quick report on the council chat that Rick and I had last week or 2 weeks ago now. We had probably about 5 or 6 residents from various neighborhoods of Timnath, a couple from West Village, as well as some from Old Town and Wild Wing. And we had discussed a number of questions about parks and road projects and trail projects. We discussed town properties as well as some code enforcement questions. One particular request that was made that I think was worth looking at was for a crosswalk on River Pass in Timnath Ranch, about that half block west of the daycare there. So if town staff could at least look into that, I think that would be a worthwhile safety feature since that's a higher traffic road and near a park and a daycare. We also had a bit of a spirited discussion about the role of the comprehensive plan. And I do think there were some excellent points made by some of our residents in terms of having working to make the growth patterns of Timnath somewhat predictable to residents and helping them to decide where they want to live. So that's my report on the council chat. And then I just also wanted to add that like the rest of the council members, I recently met with town staff about the police building. And something I did want to note for the public who might be following this project is a lot of the subject of the discussions that I had was basically every single way that we could squeeze something off the price of this building. We went through spreadsheets of where they're squeezing $5,000 out here and $10,000 out there. And I was pleased to see the effort that town staff is making to make this building as affordable, but get good bang for our buck as we can. So I'm eager to see the end results of those efforts. And that's my report.
Thank you. Anybody else? Yes, Rick.
Yeah, let me just follow up on that, the town coffee meeting. Number one is the crosswalk. And when somebody comes in and tells you they think it's unsafe for kids to cross that way, they just wanted probably just a crosswalk painted on the street kind of thing. And we might look at it, and on Windsor, they have a couple of lights up too. So if the kids come up, they can push something that'll flash. I don't know, but that seemed pretty important. They also brought up the Wild Wing Park issue. And I said, I had a feeling that the council was going to try to focus a little more attention this budget season to try to address some of the parking and some of the issues with bathrooms at that facility. I know that when you drive by there with all the soccer and the flag football and that, it's packed and it's helter-skelter as far as parking. They did mention, and I'll bring it up because I know we're going to go into budget talks, that the houses that the town has bought, a couple of them look like the weeds had taken over in that. And Susan had mentioned at the meeting that day or the day before, one of them had been addressed, but I'll bring it up again and say we need to look at that. If the market's up, this might be the time to sell them if we don't have any real plans for them going forward. Code enforcement was another one, and they mentioned at the end of 5th Street, I guess there's a piece of property that the town owns that's covered with Russian thistles. So a guy was upset about that, but overall it was a good meeting. It's just hard to try to get word out and get people here, and hopefully as these things roll out over time, more people will show up, but it was a good discussion. And that's all I've got.
You know, Rick, just real quick, both you and Brett talked about that that crosswalk, and you're talking about a mid-block crosswalk on River Pass. That's what you're talking about.
Saddlehorn and River Pass. Yeah.
Excuse me?
Saddlehorn and River Pass. Yeah.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Yep.
Yes, Saddlehorn and River.
Do you have the info you need, Don? Okay.
Mayor, can I add
Oh,
one
I'm
thing?
sorry. Yeah.
Well, it actually just made me think of it because if we're looking into crosswalks, one place I've noticed, and I think it's in the plans when the trail goes all the way through, is getting from West Village over to Trailside. There's no good place right now to cross there. I believe it's in that plan, but since the conversation topic came up about crosswalks, maybe we could look at something related to that as well. I see a lot of families on their bikes, like waiting to try to cross in the middle of the road there. So
Do you mind if I answer that? Mayor?
No, please.
Yes, that's part of the Poudre River Trail plan. So that's where the Poudre River Trail will cross on 3 Bell there at Saddlehorn is where, you know, how Saddlehorn loops around and connects across, and then it goes into Trailside. So there'll be a crossing there, and it'll be either a crosswalk with the push button with the flashers or some other indicator. So that'll be a little more highly visible and give the pedestrian more of a right of way.
do we know a timeline on that piece?
It's probably going to be 2022, end of 2022, next year. We're coordinating our effort with the Larimer County. It's part of the grant.
It's a grant.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Did you want something?
No, I was just going to say, it sounds like a safety issue, so we should look and see if there's even funds in this year's budget to try to move it forward. Because once they start using it, even though the whole thing's not done, it does create a safety issue. And once it's been brought to the attention of the council, if there was an accident there, it would look pretty bad.
Yeah, we can look at some interim, even just the simple option of putting crosswalk in the yield to pedestrian kind of thing.
A sign a little ways,
Yep.
before a little ways, crossing trail.
I'll make a quick comment. All the gentlemen there, we appreciate your safety concerns and stuff with the mask. If you've been vaccinated, you do not need to wear a mask. We trust we trust that you'll do the right thing there. But if you've been vaccinated, there is no need to wear a mask. So thank you for being so considerate. Mrs. Newcomer on the fireworks. And
Hello.
Kaylee.
Yes, Callie's going to answer all the detailed questions, but before you today, you have consideration of a 2022 fireworks contract. And although we're talking about July of 2022, and that kind of gives me hives, as you know, in order for us to secure the fireworks and ensure that we have the show that we want on July 4th, we do have to sign this contract fairly early. This contract reflects an increase over last year. Not a huge increase, but we've been told enough to be noticeable. If you ask me the specifics of exactly what that means, I'm going to defer to Callie, and she's going to share names of fireworks that nobody knows what they do. However, we've worked with this vendor for many years now, a trusted partner in this show, and really they're trying to put something together for us that would be really special.
I'm really pleased that we're increasing it, which I think the council directed and stuff. So that's excellent. And these people are great. I will note, I don't know if you guys noted, but I thought the best part of the contract was the guy that signed the original contract, which doesn't show up here, put a firework underneath his name to as some people underscore, he put an underscore with a firework. So I thought that was sort of nice. But anyway, does anybody have any questions?
It's not really a question, but I know
Go ahead. If you
the
got comment.
additional 20, roughly $20,000, 18 over 18,000 of that is to increase the length to the show and more density and bigger fireworks. I'm all for it.
And I think that's exactly what is there, right? Yeah.
Yep, longer
Anybody
show,
else?
bigger fireworks.
Okay. This is going to be an easy one for
I
you.
like those.
Do I have a motion to approve Resolution 47, Series 2021, approving a 2022 fireworks contract with Angel Light Polytechnics?
So moved.
Okay, do you want a second? Yeah,
Second.
Enrico second it. Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? None opposed.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you, both of you. Resolution 48, 2021, a resolution initiating annexation proceedings from property known as Prospect Middle High School annexation and giving notice of a public hearing on November 9, 2021. This is just to identify we're going to do a public hearing. Is that correct, Kevin?
Yep, it's just as we done with the previous two annexations for Connell and Willis. This is the resolution of substantial compliance that this property meets the 1/6 contiguous boundary, and that we have a petition signed by at least 50% of the ownership, and that is the Poudre School District. So yes, this is initiating the annexation of the new middle school, high school up there at Prospect in Maine.
Okay. Does anybody have any comments? Okay. Okay. All those in favor of, sorry, could I have, could I have a motion for resolution number 48?
Yes, I move to approve resolution number 48.
Could I have a second?
Second.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? None opposed. Resolution 48, Series 2021, a resolution initiating annexation proceedings for the property known as Prospect Middle High School Annexation 1 and 2 has been approved for giving a notice to the public of a public hearing. Okay, resolution number 49, Series 2021, a resolution approving Timnath Landing third filing final plat. Kevin.
Thank you, Mayor. And I am actually going to do the next two items together as they basically kind of, as you might have seen by the maps, they go hand in hand. So I'll just give one overall presentation on both just to kind
That'd
of
be
make
great.
this a little bit easier.
That'd be great.
So thank you, Mayor. As you mentioned, this is the Timnath Landing's third filing and actually fourth filing, final plat. The owner of the property is CAC Timnath LLC, represented tonight by Mr. Michael Kirkendall. The applicant tonight is PCS Group, represented by Mr. John Prestwich. So I'll start off generally with the location for both of these filings, highlighted there in blue with the red hatching, generally north of the railroad tracks, north of Harmony Road, and then east of the future alignment of the Timnath Parkway. The zoning for this area is R2 and then a portion of commercial mixed use kind of in the down on the southeast corner of the property there at 3 Bell and Harmony. So I will start off with, if it wants to move forward. Don't do this to me again. It wants to be, I know it's slow. There we go. Actually, we went one too far. As it loads, I will just start in on it. The third filing is a final plat proposal for 182 single-family detached fee simple lots and 5 future development tracts within the subdivision. The lots will range from roughly 5,700 square feet to just over 11,000 square feet in size. Oh man, now it's pulled up. The density in this area will be roughly 1.14 dwelling units per acre. With this filing, they are providing 58% open space, park areas, a community garden, and then trail connections with this plat. Part of the third filing plat is the initial lakes that are going to be part of this subdivision, which you've heard oh so much about during these past couple of filings. Part of the lakes will include fishing piers, trails, and then other gathering areas. The lakes, as you kind of see, are on the north side of it, and they diagonal from the northwest down to the southeast of the property. All of those are, they call the north, central, and south lakes. Along with this filing, there will actually be a trail connection at the corner of Three Bell and Harmony Road. That will then actually tie into the T-Rock Trail that came before you a couple of weeks ago that Brian had presented. So with this filing, they will actually be connecting to that trail, which will then give future connectivity for the folks down in Timnath Ranch and Timnath South all the way up into Old Town. With that, I will go to the fourth filing. So the fourth filing is kind of the infill of the third filing. It's between the lots of the third filing and the lakes. This filing is for 97 single-family detached lots. These lots will range from roughly 6,900 square feet to just over 17,000 square feet. A couple of the lakefront lots get up to that larger 17,000 square foot size. The density in this area will be roughly 2.15 dwelling units per acre. And then just with this filing alone of the fourth filing, they are providing 35% open space areas. And then they will have trail connections to the lakes and the rest of the third filing and the rest of the Timnath Landing subdivision. Staff has reviewed both of these filings and found them to be in compliance with the approved preliminary plat, the approved PD overlay, and the technical criteria manual. With that, I will turn it over to Mr. Prestwich for presentation.
All right, good evening. First off, thank you as always for your time. We're here to talk about the final plat proposal for filings 3 and 4, John Prestwich, 200 Calumet Street, Denver, Colorado, 80223. You've seen us up here a bunch, but we're the land planners and landscape architects for the Timnath Lakes community. So you've seen this too. I always want to take a quick moment really and thank Kevin, staff, Don, Matt, everyone helping us get here tonight, as well as our team. We always want to acknowledge that it takes a great team of people to create a great community. So this slide depicts the existing sketch plan for the Timnath Lakes community. The red dashed line is highlighting filing 3, and the gold line is highlighting filing 4. This area and the layout is consistent with the preliminary plat that was approved several years ago, somewhere, I think it was October of 2015. And really kind of the reason for the delay in pursuing the final plat in this area is that as we started getting into all the final construction plans for this, it just made a lot more sense for us to start to the south and west of this area. This is the same area. It's really an illustrative site plan depicting filing 3 and 4 with the surrounding areas kind of screened back to highlight what we're focused on this evening. As Kevin pointed out, filing 3 includes 182 single-family detached fee simple lots. Parts of the open space for this area is the initial lakes for the community. The lakes will include the fishing piers, trails, and gathering areas. And then filing 4 is highlighted by the gold dash line. Again, it includes 67 single-family homes. So you probably remember some of these images from previous presentations, but again, we've built kind of a detailed computer model of the community. And this view is from the primary entry off of Harmony Road, looking across the park at the entry, and you start to see parts of filings 3 and 4 in the background of this image. This view is looking across the lake at the future recreation site. We know that site will be, part of a future submittal, but again, you start to see some of the homes adjacent to it, and you start to see some of the early thoughts of the rec center with the pier, potentially some paddle boats, and the trail kind of skirting the edge of the lakes on both sides there. This image is from the north side of the lake, again, looking towards the homes in filing 4. And then a similar view further to the west up in the air, again, looking towards filings 3 and 4 with the homes in filing 4 adjacent to the lake in the foreground there with the trail surrounding the lake. And then filing 3 includes a park in the southwest corner. We have these unique shade shelters. They'll be used throughout the community. This area has a multi-purpose turf area, playground equipment, community gardens. You can kind of see that when we get up into the air a little bit more. It gives you a little bit better overall view of that area. Again, you kind of get that custom shade shelter in the foreground, and then the community gardens behind that, sort of the turf area, the kids' playground. And then the homes in the background of this one are actually part of what's currently under construction. So to wrap up, the proposals are consistent with the approved sketch plan and preliminary plats. The proposals have been thoroughly reviewed by town staff and referral agencies. Staff has recommended approval, and Planning Commission also unanimously recommended approval. Thank you very much for your time. We're happy to answer questions. We do have a team here to answer questions.
Yes, Brett.
I just wanted to make sure I heard something correctly from the Planning Commission meeting. The community center there on the east end near the lakes, that was going to be accessible by the community at large and not just the neighborhood?
Michael Kirkendall, a representative for CAC Timnath, the developer and owner of the property. That is correct. It is open to everyone. There would be an additional fee for outside residents if they wanted to take advantage of that. However, the lakes and trails and all of that, those are public amenities, as well as the park areas that were shown here tonight. But the actual building itself, which will eventually have a pool and various indoor amenities, that would require an additional fee to access those facilities.
Okay. What kind of timeline would you expect on the lakes and trails and that actually being a usable amenity for the community?
That's a great question. I'm looking over at the construction this construction team. I mean, the goal would be as soon as we get, assuming we had approval here tonight, once the plat records, we would start construction on these two phases or these two filings over the winter. That construction timeframe will likely take us through the majority of next year. So I would imagine, really it would be 23 that those landscaped amenities, as well as the trails and other facilities, would be in for the greater public use.
Okay. And I'll just comment that I'm happy to see these amenities that are going to connect together with the community, kind of help unite the community, as well as be something we can point to where growth is kind of working for the community and expanding the feel. So thank you for doing those.
Yeah, absolutely. I sure appreciate it. And one thing I'd like to just mention, I mean, this has been a very long time coming to get to this point tonight. And I really do want to thank staff. We've had a number of very, very challenging hurdles to get through with this project. And we've, since kind of day one when we showed up, we viewed this as a partnership, and we had a lot of kind of crazy ideas in order to achieve some of those challenges. But want to thank the town sincerely for getting us to this point today. We believe it's going to be a great community and a great front door to Timnath. So we're really proud of what John has drawn thus far, and we're excited to get out there and start building it.
Awesome. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Do I ask for public comment at this point?
Yeah, technically it is a public hearing.
Okay. So is there any people signed up?
No.
Okay.
I'm
Thanks.
sorry, I didn't get my mute button quick enough, so you're good.
What did you say?
Raymond Wright has changed his mind and would like to speak.
Okay, Raymond.
Good evening, all. I just have a few questions for the developer. And I noticed a big, large pipe laying out there that I was told by the GLH. It's going to be
Raymond, could you, because this is recorded, could you make sure you don't have to look them in the eye. Just make sure it's there and we're fine.
All right. I was told by the developer, the contractor, GLH, that big pipe laying out there east of our house is going to be a siphon drainage tube running off to the southwest towards the railroad or the town Army Drive. When will that be installed, and where's that going to be on the maps here?
And then if you guys talk, so go ahead and stand up and answer his question. I think it's probably the best bet, even though it's not protocol. And that way everyone can hear it.
Yeah, that's fine. So I think
I am on 4th Avenue, just west of that.
okay, great, yeah. So I believe the pipe that you're talking about, the black pipe that's laid out there, that's actually pipe that was brought on site. There's an existing ditch that runs through the property called the Aiken Lateral. And the plan is to route that east of Timnath Parkway. So if you see Timnath Parkway is the north-south, it would be east of that. Timing is what we're working with the owners right now of that lateral to finalize an agreement, and the construction on that would start through the fall and winter.
Okay, thanks.
Is it?
Correct. Yeah.
Raymond, did you have any other questions?
No, I'm just curious to how long it's going to be when they get that ponding there, the 11-acre ponds done, and how they're getting along with that.
And they earlier said it'll be till the end of 2023, if I heard right, but is that incorrect?
Well, there's 2 ponds. So I think you're asking about the West Lake, which is the augmentation pond.
East of the school.
Yeah, so that I sure hope does not take until the end of 2023. So the West Lake is the augmentation pond. We just finished the slurry wall, which is the liner on the outside of it. The earthwork on that is going to start in 2 weeks. And that, in terms of the heavy earthwork exercise, would kind of be through this winter. And then next year we would be working on, next building season, we'd be working on the trail and the park amenities surrounding it. So that's separate from the other lakes, which will start this winter.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Is this something you planned on from the beginning, or is this something you ran into as you got involved with the project? This slurry pond, this pond you're building right now. Is this something you got complicated as the development came along?
Not necessarily.
Or you planned it that way?
There were a number of different ways to solve the evaporative loss from the lakes. And we believed that for the community, it was a great amenity to that area back there where the West Lake is, was originally zoned as mixed use, meaning that, we could have built apartments or condos or what have you. And so we believed it was kind of a best of both worlds, where we could control our water situation as well as provide an amenity close to Old Town where folks can walk and run and enjoy the park amenity there as well as the open space.
Great. Thanks, Mr. Kirkendall. And thank you, Raymond. You're good, right, Raymond? Yeah, okay. I had one quick question, Kevin. So you said 2.5 units per acre, but the lot sizes were 6,000 to 17,000, which seems like that's more than 2.5. So are you including the lakes in that 2.5 unit calculation?
So it's a gross acreage. So if you actually look at this one, so that 2.15 was on the 4th filing, which is in the gold. Since it includes the area for that Rome Community Park and the community center, it's a gross density.
No, that's great. I just wanted, I knew I was missing a piece that was in there, and I just wanted to make sure. So great. Anybody else have any questions or comments? Okay. Could I have a motion to approve resolution number 49, series 22? I'm going to do these separate just to be kosher. Resolution number 49, series 2021. A resolution approving the Timnath filing, third filing, final plat.
I move to recommend approval of the Timnath Landing third filing final plat with the conditions of allowing staff to work with owner applicant to address minor, non-substantive modifications and unresolved comments prior to final signatures.
I'll second that.
Okay. Any comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passed unanimously. Resolution number 50, series 2021, a resolution approving Timnath Landing fourth filing final plat. Do I have a motion?
I move to recommend approval of the Timnath Landing fourth filing final plat with the conditions of allowing staff to work with the owner applicant to address minor, non-substantive modifications and unresolved comments prior to final signatures.
I'll second that.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thanks for the presentation, guys. Resolution number 51, Series 2021, a resolution approving an early award package for the Timnath Police Building. Brian.
Thank you, Mayor. It is our pleasure to be here this afternoon or this evening. I guess it's kind of in the middle there, to talk about the police station once again. In the packet, you can see that we have recommended an early award package to kind of offset a couple of issues, some supply chain issues on some of our front end loaded work for the site, and then some known cost increases on the HVAC work. What I just passed out to you was a letter that is the notice to proceed. In further discussions with the general contractor, Francis Pittman, they would prefer for us to actually just release them with the notice to proceed rather than signing the one-page agreement that's in the packet. They're happy either way. For their bookkeeping side, it makes more sense to not have two separate agreements for the same project. So they're okay with going either way. We actually feel from the town standpoint that there's a little bit less risk to the town by issuing the notice to proceed as opposed to the one-page contract.
Can I stop you there? Lori, are you on here?
Sure am, and that makes perfect sense to me.
Okay, that's all I wanted to ask. Go ahead, Brian.
And so with that being said, the way the resolution is structured, Aaron is actually authorized to enter into either one of these agreements as you give us direction on this item, and happy to answer any questions that you have on any of the specifics of the early award package, but we've kind of outlined those in the staff report, and I didn't want to rehash them if we didn't need to.
Any questions or comments on this? Okay. Do I have a motion to approve resolution number 51, Series 2021, a resolution approving an early award package for the Timnath Police Building?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries. All right, resolution number 52, Series 2021, a resolution approving the service plan and intergovernmental agreement for Fisher Farms Metropolitan Districts number 1 through 4. It's pulled from the agenda and continued to September 28, 2021 by request of the applicant. Could I have a motion to table resolution number 52, Series 2021?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Such resolution number 52, Series 2021, a resolution approving the service plan and intergovernmental agreement for Fisher Farms numbers 1 has been tabled. Do I have any other comments from anybody? And nothing from staff? Okay, could I have a motion to adjourn?
A motion to adjourn.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned.